welcome to my pool party.
I think Tony should come back if you can let him in the door.
Nope, not allowed. He's not allowed in my home ever again. Not allowed in my home ever again. I'm sorry.
No, he's coming.
What?
Let him in. He's coming in the pool. He had to get his.
He's not allowed in my home again.
He had to get his bathing suit. He's coming.
He is not allowed in my home again.
Hey, no, you got to stay in there for. You got to stay in there for a full minute. That's not a full minute. Get back down. Back down.
He's not allowed in my home again.
Sit back down.
Damn it.
How does that water feel? With Sprite?
Not water, it's Sprite. And
How does it feel?
Like sugar. Sugar water. Disgusting.
You want to take a sip?
Go fuck yourself, weirdo!
You know, that doesn't look very full to me. So Tony's coming in with a bunch of Sprite.
He's not allowed in my house!
Well, he's coming in. He's coming into the side patio. He's going to open the door right now. He's got a lot of Sprite with him. He's got some 7-Up.
Not allowed! Fuck you! The computer means shut off!
No, he can't. No, he's coming in. Actually, he went to 7-Eleven. He's got a bunch of super big gulps filled with Sprite.
Goodbye!
All right. Goodbye, Perry. We'll see you on Monday, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. I came back on because, a couple of reasons. Normally, I would never come back on a Friday stream because they stay up on YouTube, and it still will. But I do have to take this down and then put it up again because I got to join the two parts together. So I'm going to do that as fast as I possibly can. I don't have to do really much editing. I just got to take the two streams. I got to put them in an editing thing and thingamajiggy, merge them, and then it takes a little while to encode, and then you got to upload it to YouTube. For some reason, the uploading to YouTube is taking longer and longer. So it'll come back on. The YouTube will be up online, again, because like I said, Friday streams always stay up on YouTube, even if we have to take them down, it'll come back up. So but I didn't plan for that in my day because I do have other things I have to do. But now, so I'm going to try to do my best to get that up for those asking. And the reason why I had to end it, of course, I'm sure people have surmised. Perry said the bad word. Perry said the F word when he was really going hard at Tony, and I'll leave it up. I'll just mute that part out, but I'll leave it up because the stream's on, I don't know, something like a 25-second delay. So if, God forbid, Perry says something really bad, I can kill it. And by the way, I've looked into it. We'd probably be okay in certain contexts because I see a lot of YouTube videos where people throw that word around quite a bit. It's not quite the no-no on the level of some of the other no-no words, but still, I'd like to err on the side of caution and not have it, because here's the thing with YouTube. Now, Twitch, forget about. Twitch is another thing altogether. They're crazy with stuff. But with YouTube, like stuff that might be okay now, they might change, and it's not okay like a year from now or 2 years from now. And then you got to go back to a video that's been online for 2 years and edit it. So I err on the side of caution, and I'll just take it out now. Tom, this effort is out of control, and that bullshit, he needs to drink some of that Sprite that was made. Yeah, well, like I told you guys, he was out of control all week. He called me. I got a very brief phone. Boy, I don't think I have it handy here, but I got a very brief phone call from him Tuesday morning saying how we were done and how he was throwing away all the Sprite and the pool and everything like that, and it was a battle all week. It was exhausting, quite frankly, all week to even get to this point. So I knew he was going to be cantankerous, and Tony was brave. And Tony was originally couldn't come, and then he freed up his schedule and he was going to come, and I found out during the stream, and I was talking about it with Jim, and I was like, so Tony's going to come. But I was like, man, you really got to play it cool because he's crazy. That's why I came up with that bit about hey, I'll call the cops if you if you get violent. And I think that worked to some degree, but with Perry, you just don't know. Look, if Tony leaves, if Tony leaves, it was really bad. I would have liked him to have stayed, but if Tony leaves, it was bad. So that's it. And mainly Perry's been really good about using that word and everything like that. It's just I noticed lately he uses it when he wants to be spiteful and like a real baby. So you can only do so much. Like I said, you can only lead a horse to water. You can only do so much. There might be some day where he just literally, really wants to, end everything or whatever. But deep down he knows that this is good for him, and it earns him a decent living where he could pay for all his stuff. But in the moment, he's never gonna acknowledge that. So that's where we are. I'm sure I'm gonna have to deal with him later today or whatever. So we'll see. We'll see how we go. Then Monday he's gonna wear the costume, the Cowardly Lion costume, and I'll push the chocolate thing again. However you say that, Toblerone. Maybe now I know how to say it. But anyway, so I just wanted to come back and say that stuff because I said on Monday I can't do. I have to take a break from doing After Hours, which is, if you don't know what After Hours is, it's just when the stream's over, I'll come back and ramble for a little bit. Talk about Perry stuff and answer some Q&As, and that's what we'll do. But I can't do it on Monday nights anymore, at least for the time being, because my work schedule's changed. So, Tom, you're gonna have a long afternoon of damage control and rage calls. Well, what he does lately is he doesn't do the rage calls necessarily. He does sometimes, but he just won't answer the call. He just won't answer his phone. He'll just go radio silent. And of course, the last time he went radio silent, he started destroying all that artwork. So we'll see where we are. But yeah, it is. It's just, he gets in this crazy. I mean, you guys saw the stream. He was a lunatic. With moments of brief moments of humanity. So we'll see. We'll see what we do. We'll see what happens here. I'm sorry. I know I missed the Tom's tip. It was hard when he was going real crazy, but we'll get to it first thing on Monday. I promise. So yeah, and the other thing I should mention is we're taking a few weeks off in late June, early July. So Monday, June 19th is going to be our season finale, for lack of a better term, and then we're going to take a few weeks off and we'll come back on July 10th. So I hope everybody's okay with that. I hope everybody enjoys their 4th of July holiday. Perry has to do a couple of things. I have some family things. And, sometimes you just need a little detox, to make things better. And I do want to launch some new graphics and things like that. Maybe we'll call it a PCL 3.0. Hopefully that's ready by then. But and the other thing I wanted to mention is people have been asking about when is Perry going to dye his hair pink, because that was a crowdsource that came in a while ago, and then we held it off because he was going to Pottstown, and we said we'd do it after he got back from Pottstown. We're going to do it on the July 10th stream. That's the when Perry will get his hair dyed pink. And I heard that among the many other things that Tony is involved with, that Tony Hawk also is a hairdresser. So I think he could do it. Somebody asked, no stream on the anniversary of '92. No, we did that last year, and that was the 30th anniversary. So no, we're not gonna do that. And I don't really pay into the anniversary thing so much. I should calculate the time he wastes darting and add it to the end of the stream like a soccer game. Yeah, that could be really. It was the darting was out of control today, so that would be really long. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Because we by the way, we really made a sincere offer to Sheila, his hairdresser. Who do you want to be on the stream? And I think Perry even offered. I think Perry was taking it out of whatever he got for that crowdsource, and he got a decent amount for it. He offered her $300. That was as high as I was willing to. I was like, listen, go as high as 300, but there's no way we're paying any more than that. And She said no, she doesn't want to be on camera. So okay, so we'll get somebody else. Does Perry still owe a hot tub stream? Yes, he does. The hot tub at his apartment complex was broken at the time, and then the whole thing got redone. I don't know if the hot tub is back operational yet, but yes, he does owe a hot tub stream, and we will do that. Maybe even one of these Weather Matters streams. He could start off in the hot tub. Sheila's in witness protection, says Jim. Yeah. We got a really big couple. I got to post these on Patreon because he called me angry. Again, we had like the briefest of conversations. It was one of these things I didn't even call him back. He hung up on me. This was Tuesday morning about the thing, and then he called again, and he was mad about Rappin' Randy working with Amy and his brother, and he was pissed about that. Then he called again about that, and then we got in this whole Kenny conversation, which was interesting. So I'll get those culled together and put those on Patreon. But again, if you're not on Patreon, check out the new video from Pottstown, which is we called Crash Test Perry. That's just Perry being an absolute lunatic around us, and screaming and ranting and raving and blaming people for stealing his pills and all that other stuff. Does Perry grandstand a lot when he's upset just to piss me off? It's not just to piss me off. It's just to kind of show that he's in charge. And, it's very hard wrangling him to do his job / stream when he's in that mode. And I do it as best as I can. But, there's times where it gets really tough. But yeah, he grandstands because he like a baby. Again, baby's the best way to explain it. He's just acting like a baby. So yeah, and he's out of control. I mean, he's just an out of control lunatic, especially over certain triggering things. And lately it's been Sprite. I don't know where that came out. I know maybe in the past he said I don't like Sprite, but he's really like crazy anti-Sprite and like poison thing. It's just, I mean, there was a thing, was it last Friday? I don't remember when it was. Maybe it was last Friday when he was screaming at me about the Sprites and he was just going to go, murderer, you're a murderer, doing that fake voice thing. Will the full stream be on Patreon? No, it'll be on YouTube and Patreon. Friday streams will always go on YouTube. I just have to do a little editing, to put the two parts together and, all that stuff, because I had to stop the stream. It wasn't a technical difficulty. That was me actually stopping it. I think I only had to do that once before. It's very rare. I don't know. We probably would have been okay with it, probably, but I like I said, I'd rather be safe than sorry. When's the cigarette taste test? I don't see him doing that. There's some things that are pitched that I just don't see him doing, and that's one of them. But shout outs to Tony. I think Tony made, I was surprised that actually Tony got in, because I said to Tony, he said he was legitimately in the area and he's like, hey, I got to pass through. I can stop over. And my initial instinct was, no, Perry's too crazy. I don't know if Tony is a good idea. And then I was like, well, hey, I don't want to make you come out of your way. And then when he said, hey, I'm in the area anyway, I was like, all right, well, the worst he could say is no and doesn't let you in. And then I was just like, hey, Perry, Tony can't stay long anyway. And then you got to give him these shirts. And anyway, Tony came in, as you all saw, and he was just as great as ever. Did the stream just start, or is it over? No, it's over. This is the end. This is it. I was just saying a couple of things. So anyway, listen, we'll come back on Monday for the 5 p.m. Pacific start. When we come back from break, they'll go back to 4 p.m. Pacific starts on Monday. We might work with the Friday, keep 9 a.m. Pacific start, or maybe go a little later for the summer. Maybe we'll toy around with that. It depends on what you guys want. I know a lot of people like 9 a.m. A lot of people don't like 9 a.m. 9 a.m.'s the only way we can do it with our schedules now. But in the summer that'll free up a little bit, so maybe we could play around with it. I don't want to do an evening stream on Fridays, so it won't be that late. It'll still be in the daytime. It'll still be like, if not in the morning, maybe early afternoon. But yeah, unless there's any more questions, I'm gonna wrap up and say thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for putting up with Perry's BS. I know guys like loose asshole or like, you know, enjoy it and everything, but I do take it to heart when Perry's like turning down things left and right, and he's being particularly cantankerous. But this was a busy week. This was a busy week of Perry freaking out about the sprites and battling him to keep them around. So he was particularly on edge today. I have a guess he'll be more reasonable later. 9 a.m. works on the East Coast. Yeah, 9 a.m. Pacific works fine for me because that's noon East Coast time, and on Fridays that's great. How's T-ball? I'll tell you what, it's exhausting. I had no idea what I was getting into with that. But at the same time, it's beyond rewarding, because the one thing I've noticed with the T-ball is the kids are so much better than when they started. Like they're actually not even using the tee anymore. Like we only use the tee when it's absolutely necessary. Like for instance, Teddy's last game, he got a really solid hit off just an underhand toss, which is great. And a lot of kids were doing that, and they know now how to run the bases. They know how to do all the things. So it's been great. It's the season's going to wrap up in a few weeks, and it's a lot of work. But oh, hang on a second. I think I got Tony Hawk's calling. Hey Tony, I'm on the air.
Hey Tom, good. I was hoping I'd get on the air. What the fuck?
Wait, so I couldn't see, obviously off camera, but what happened? So I was saying on the air, like if you decide that it's time to leave, then Perry must be really bad. And I couldn't see once you moved past the camera range. Take it from there. Like what happened? Like what was going on?
There is a certain look he gets in his eyes where there is no coming back from. You know?
Yeah.
It's done. It is done. He's going to say stuff and say I made him say it. You know, those types of things.
Of course.
And at that point, I was just like, you know, I was really excited to be on the. Like I said, didn't think I could make it, and I was really excited.
Yeah.
So, you know, I wasn't keeping him at a 7, and I was like, this is just not going to end well.
Yeah. Well, was he being violent? Like, was he hit? Like, were you guys just locked in this?
Yes. We were just locked. Like, all the other attacks to today, you know, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Like, nothing I really even thought about. That was like, oh my God, he is really just out of control. Like right. he could have, like, poked my eyes out.
Well, I think that's a good move, and I realized this over the years of dealing with him. When he gets really out of control and he starts like getting physical, is the best way to approach him. And you're an expert at this now. Is to lock him up, like basically just grab. You know, you so he's trying to grab you, you're grabbing him, so he can't punch you or anything like that. You guys are just locked. You know, so. Yep. I don't know if that's a wrestling move or whatever it is, but I think that's the best way to handle him when he's in that stage.
Once he gets locked, it takes a lot of energy for him to yell. So if he's yelling, a physical, yeah, it'll look bad, but it's really not that bad because he exhausts himself yelling. So, like, I don't know if you saw today, I sat down in his chair. That was because I knew if he grabbed me, it would be, whoops, sorry, I'm driving.
No, it's okay.
It would be like, look, if I sit down and he grabs me, I can keep him locked and all fine. But we were both standing, he was locked, and he had me from behind, and that's the worst if I'm not facing him.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, this could get bad. This is when I end up being thrown into the bookshelf or something, and then the bookshelf comes down.
Right, and you also have an appointment to go to. You don't want to show up there with like like a black and blue on your face or something.
Exactly. I'm showing up. I am so sticky, and I was like, oh, dumb me. I can go and just not get any Sprite on me. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, you didn't. It wasn't like last time where you were covered in wet cement kitty litter. So.
Exactly, and that's what I was like. Oh, I'm not going to do what I did last time and end up in the pool. Yeah. Right.
So I was saying that I was teasing this to other people, but one of your many talents is hairdressing, right, and hair dyeing specifically.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, is that still on board?
Yeah, I was saying that I think we should do that because I think if we do it before taking a couple of weeks off, then you won't get the full effect of it. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do it if you're around Monday, July 10th for that stream.
I should be just.
And if you're not, then we'll do it at a time where you are there. Obviously, you could do it that Friday, whatever.
Yeah, no, right around then I should be getting back into town.
Yeah. And I'll have him not get any more dye jobs from Sheila between now and then, so we can go really gray. Because you don't want to do that when he's got like a fresh dark brown dye. Right.
No, you want to get him with as little old dye as possible.
Yeah, maybe even bleach it beforehand. I don't know. We'll see.
I'll definitely consult my manual and see the best way to get a dye.
Yeah, and then we'll see. It looks like he's still maintaining that hairless chest because I was noticing that today. There's not a hair on there from. Mm-hmm. And as we know from your waxing job, he does get quite hairy. So I was wondering how he maintains that by himself.
I don't know. Like, I see pictures from my last waxing, and I'm like, oh my God, and I kind of feel bad sometimes.
Well, you know what it was? It was that one product that really like left marks. Like it was almost like a burn or something. Like I forget. It was it was crazy. Yeah, there were times where because if you look at that video he does where he's doing the spaghetti samurai cooking thing, that was done right after that, and his chest is all like people that watch that video that don't know anything about what happened, they're like, what the hell is going on with that chest?
Yeah, it's like he got a chemical burn.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And it took a good couple of months to get back to 100%. It was like there were times where people would say, "Hey, pop the top off," and he'd take the shirt off, and he'd be like, "Oh my God!" And it would be months after that, and it would still be some little kind of mark. So yeah, I know.
Yeah, hopefully no physical marks, but something along those lines going to happen for the hair dye.
All of Perry's marks should be psychological.
Yes, definitely. I hope today. I see again when he's like this. I don't even think he's going to remember what we did today.
No, you're right. He'll remember some beats, but he won't remember all of it. And what I like about every time that you leave the apartment, Perry's like, he's never allowed here again. He's never allowed here again. Never.
He's never allowed back.
Yeah, he's never allowed here. Never allowed again. So.
Oh my God.
So yeah, I think he'll reboot a little bit. Sorry, go ahead.
I hope did today go over well? Because again, I have no clue how it's going over on the street.
It's the same way for me a lot of the time where I don't know how it's going. I don't know how it's going either. And by that I mean I don't know how. Everything's subjective. Everything of comedy is subjective. I was talking to somebody the other day who's going to try to edit some older streams because I want to put maybe edited versions of the streams on YouTube, maybe digestible things, because the one thing about new people that come over to Perry is they look at his channel and they see, okay, let me watch a stream and get a little taste of this. Oh, this one's 8 hours, this one's 6 hours, this one's 4 hours, this one's 5 hours. It's a lot. So I was like, maybe take the best elements of a stream and kind of cut it down to like, 20, 30 minutes. And my point with that is I was talking to the person and they were like, oh, what about this bit and this bit? And I'm like, that's the thing with editing comedy is that it's so subjective, and what you would choose to keep in, I might choose to keep out, and then the people watching, they could be like, oh my God, this part's funny. I don't know why they kept this in. So, and that's, I think, how Perry Caravello Live is. So the long-winded answer to the question is, I think it went great because I just also watch with a little concern. And when things get a little heated, when he charges at
Oh,
me.
yeah. And just so the stream knows, Tom really warned me. I mean, he does a lot, but he was like, he's, in a rare form today, and it was rare form today.
Yeah, and I think, but you've been really good about that, where you adjust yourself accordingly, not just by my warning, but you see how he is, and like for instance, when Francis Project offered like whatever it was to take the shirts and put them on the chandelier, and you're great because you're like, okay, let's do that. You get up and do that, but you're doing that knowing that Perry's going to charge after you. It's not a matter of if he's going to; it's a matter of when. And then how you work your way out of it is, I think, shows your talent for.
Oh, sure.
That's where the real work comes in. Is work. It's very easy to get into a mess with Perry. It's very hard to get out of it.
Yes, that's 100%. And Tom, you deal with this every day.
Yeah, well, yeah, yeah, exactly. I have my doctorate in it. Yeah.
I think seriously.
I could teach a college class at this point.
Yeah. And actually, this came up because this was one of my proudest moment. When he did the hard out for moving him into the old age home, that stream.
Oh, right.
Do you recall that?
Yeah, that's right. When he turned off the computer, that took me by surprise. Yeah.
Yeah, because I just we were talking about whatever, and I was like, you think it'll be easy to make him think he's getting moved into an old age home? And we were like, oh yeah, just mention something like there's a tour or an open house.
Right.
And boom, I worded it, and instant stream shut down.
Yeah. That's right. Oh, did I tell you? I don't think I've told you. I don't think I've told anybody this. So I've tried to like offset him rage quitting. Like, by the way, I don't mind when he turns it off at the end. Like today at the end, I was saying that you were coming back, but because I didn't think it would be very interesting to sit up there sitting, seeing him sit there flopping in the pool. So I was like, I wanted to get a little, excitement out of him, whatever. So then I don't mind. Like if you never hear me fighting it towards the end, it means everything that we've done is done. I don't, it's fine if he turns it down. But during the stream, it's really aggravating, and it's a whole process to get him back. Like you've seen it. Like when you've been there, like I have to get everything loaded again. I have to get this ported back. We have to do all these things again. I try to do it as fast as I can. But so recently, I said to him, and I didn't know if this would stick, or if he'd feel bad about it and maybe think about it. But I say, hey Perry, I got to pay money every time you shut off, and we got to get back on the air. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, because they let you on for free, but if you gotta but if you go on twice in the same, I forget how I worded it. I was like, if you got to go in twice for the same spectrum, they charge you for the bandwidth. So I got to pay $150 on YouTube and $150 on Twitch. And so he's like, and he heard that, of course, as I'm saying this to him, it's like reasonable, Perry. It was, not on the air. And he was like, oh God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for that. So I'm like, yeah, every time that we go back on the air after you shut down, I got to pay for it. I did say, I think I might have said to him today, like when he was trying to shut down, like, hey, this is going to get expensive. Don't do this. But it doesn't make that much of a difference because he still threatens it quite a lot. He maybe doesn't pull the trigger as hard, but I'm like, does he care enough about me, like having to spend X amount of money, and by the way, that's not true. It's they don't charge anything to stream it.
I believed it because I remember when you said that on the air. I was like, oh shit.
Oh, did I say? I don't remember if I said it on the air. That's why I don't know if it was like a thing that I made known, but yeah. So I don't know, maybe like a month ago or so when he was really rampant with it, I was like, hey Barry, not for nothing, but and I gotta pay this. But you also, somebody said in the chat that we lost like a couple hundred viewers, and I believe that because you do lose viewers. Like the diehards are always gonna like find when it goes back on, but if you're down for like 5-10 minutes and then you got to go back up, you're not getting the same views that you had.
Nope.
So that's that's definitely something to consider. So, but anyway, it's just preventing him, and that's what I like about when we're all in the same room and we're doing the stream is that he's not able to do that, and so it's like it's riding a bull in a way, and usually Fridays are kind of like easy streak because Friday's just supposed to be a little ancillary bonus stream because people wanted more Perry, and it was like for a long time it was super easy and it was cruise control, and I was like, I can almost watch the stream, like, and not really, and kind of just lay back and watch him open mail, run the comments and everything like that. But this one I was on edge the entire time. I was like all hands on deck. I'm right near the kill switch just in case, and especially when you showed up, I'm worried about him like attacking you. So anyway, it was a great job. It was a great job. The long answer to the question is it was great. It would not have been the same if you weren't there. So it was. I'm really glad you did, because when you told me earlier in the week that you couldn't make it, I was disappointed, but part of me was like, maybe that's for the best because he's so crazy this week. I don't know how it's gonna go. And then even during the stream, I was like, how is he gonna let him in? But what's great about you too is like when you're at the door, you're not asking to come in. You're just expecting to come in. So.
Oh no! If I'm there, I am getting in.
You're right.
No ways about it. I'm coming in, Barry.
Yeah, like you're walking, what's great. You didn't see this, but when he goes to answer the door, he grabbed all your shirts and was just thinking that he was just gonna pass them off to you at the door. So. Yeah,
I'm like, oh no, great. I'll put this here to grab on my way out. I'm gonna go sit down.
Yeah. Oh, somebody asked a question. Did Perry say the F word, the N word, or the R word? Well, first of all, let's go through all those words. Perry never says the N word. That's never going to be an issue. Perry I've never heard him use that word. The F word has made a somewhat resurgence with him out of spite. He used to say it because that's what he used to say quite regularly. Now he says it to like get me or get us. And meanwhile, the only person he hurts is himself. The R word isn't even that big of a deal. That's not even a problem. I try to minimize it because, like I said earlier, it could be a problem in 2 or 3 years from now, and I'm just saving future Tom work of like, oh man, now I got to go back and edit every stream where Perry said the R word or something. You know what I mean? So I make it a bigger deal than it is. But yeah, that's why we had to start. Anyway, Tony, it was a great job all around. It was really phenomenal.
Great. I just wanted to check in. And how about him freaking out over me dumping in the 7-Up? I don't know if you already talked about that.
No, I didn't talk about that at all. No, again, I knew he was not going to be able to concentrate on the stream at that point because he just kept. If he was looking ahead, he was only looking at the camera angle to see what you were doing.
Right. I was like, I saw the 7-Up there, and I'm like, he's gonna lose his shit if I dump a 7-Up in there.
which was such a great move because that's the thing he values. And how many of them were there?
It was like 4 2-liters.
4 2-liters.
And he's like, I mean, that was crazy.
Yeah, and he went more nuts on that than like the ones that were like, and there was ones that you were pouring in that you didn't shake up that were literally like exploding as you opened.
Oh, no shit! I shook up like the last one. I shook up and put it to the side, and just being stupid, I started to shake one up, and he caught it. So literally only 2 I shook up. All the other ones, was him running around, banging, being Barry.
Yeah.
Shook him up on his own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did notice that. And then there were some times where I thought he was going to go a lot crazier than he did, because he was like, you'd be right on top of him and the Sprite would be exploding on both of you. And I thought, oh my God, he's going to go absolutely mental. And then he didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. And again, another crazy thing is that sandwich he ate from Dave's Hot Chicken, I've had a bite of one of those, are insanely hot. And he was sweating. I don't know if you could see it. He was red. Well, he still ate the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's why I say he can handle heat so well. And he gets mad. He screams at me at the top. He goes into the fake voice territory where I'll say, hey, Perry, you can handle spice very well. It's like, no, I'm not saying that you don't feel it. But, I mean, look, he did that, like, Satan's blood or whatever it was. That crap is like, that's an extract. That's not even hot sauce. That's like an extract that you're supposed to mix with something else. It is, he took it. Now, I'm not saying it didn't take its toll on him, but he took it, and he could do, like, a hot wings competition or something like that. He totally could. He'd scream and yell about it, but he'd be able to do it. He could do, and you and I are kind of the same age. So, and the one thing I've noticed is I used to handle spice really well, and I noticed as I get older, I don't handle it as well.
None. I can't do, I have to do mild now, and I used to be able to do hot.
Same.
But he's 60, and he can still.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. My throat would close up. And he,
Yeah, right.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so that's one of his many superpowers. But again, I think the thing that makes Perry great is he doesn't realize what makes him great or entertaining, and that's one of them. It's like, you give him a compliment like, "Wow, you're great at eating spicy stuff." F you, yes, shut up about that. Yeah, and then he doesn't get, even when he's turning down offers and stuff, which I know does legitimately piss some people off. But it's like, would you want to tune into somebody who's willing, oh, thank you, yes, I'll do this, because you could do, you could do a stream with a guy like High Pitch Eric or something like that, and you could send him, delivery, but that guy's not going to turn down anything. Oh, thank you, filet of fish. Oh, this is great, thank you.
Yeah.
And maybe some people, I'm sure he could do well with people sending him deliveries, but he's not going to get mad at any. That's the thing about Perry is he's entertaining despite his best efforts. Yes.
No matter how hard he tries to shoot himself in the foot, nope, it just keeps working out better.
Yeah. So
Hey,
anyway,
I got to jump here. I'm at my meeting. Thank you so much for having me. Fans, you're the best. And I'm looking so much forward for us to all be in the room again and having a stream.
yes, and seeing Perry naked again.
Oh, can't get enough of that. All right, I'll talk to you guys.
All right, have a great one, Tony. Great job. So that's Tony was great. Somebody says High Pitch is also a idiot and a criminal. I don't know about idiot. I like High Pitch. I know he's done some, let's say, devious things, business wise, and maybe owes people money, and things like that. That's that's the thing. High Pitch is, everybody's got their opinion on High Pitch. But listen, so guys, what I'll do is I'll put the stream back up in one piece, and that'll be up later today. And anybody who missed After Hours and wants to catch that'll be on my channel. I won't put that won't be included on the PCL. That'll go to what is my channel? I think it's at Tom_Brennan on YouTube. But yeah, it's just, if you just search After Hours, you'll find it. What's the plan for Gavin's show? He's a buddy of yours. I don't know. I have to have a talk about it and figure it out. So I don't know what the plan is. Somebody asked, any comment on outbursts from Steel Toe when he went on a mad Tom rant? I heard about that. I didn't hear it. But I'll say this. I don't have any problem with that guy, Aaron. You know, I think a comment, not I think, this is what happened. A comment came up on screen on our stream, and I had commented on it. I probably should have articulated it better, but I saw their tweet about, they were doing this whole bit about Perry allegedly in blackface on Cumia, and from my point of view, I thought that I don't know. I don't know what they were going for, and I don't think they knew what we were going for because, of course, they're doing their show, we're doing our show. But I'll say this. I don't know if too many people know what I'm talking about, but I've said way more positive things about the guy who does that show, Aaron, than anything negative. In fact, the one thing I've said, and I'll say this again, is Perry has gone on quite a few shows as a guest that deals with super chats, and like where he goes on somebody's show and the person hosting the show benefits from all of the super chats that come in because Perry's audience goes to them, and Perry's audience sends in these super chats on these other shows. And out of all those shows, Steel Toe is the only one who actually sent Perry a Venmo after the show that split the super chats 50-50. So I thought that was a class move. So that's what I'll say. You guys want to get in the trenches with that, have at it. But and also the other thing too, I am so fatigued by all these streaming wars, and I know people use them for content, and because it is content. When somebody says something about you, you want to come on. Like if I did that kind of thing, I'd play a video clip and pause it every 2 seconds and be like, have this direct back and forth. I'm not going to do that. I think streaming wars are cringe. And what I mean streamer wars. I don't mean like Netflix versus HBO Max. I mean like streamer wars. But I've just seen from some of these other people that get into these really nasty back and forths. It's kind of cringe. So I think rivalries are cringe. So I don't want to get into it. I got no problem with him. If he has a problem with me, that's fine. I think there was some miscommunication there. So whatever. And he has to do a show and make it entertaining. So so be it if it's at my expense, because I did probably snipe a comment in there where I said something about their audience, and I probably shouldn't. I probably should have just kept my mouth shut. But I just think all these. I don't want to name any names, but if you guys follow, even the Shuli Network and some of these other things, not that Shuli Network gets involved in these battles, but the people in their universe, it just gets really cringe. And I don't want to get involved in any of that. So I don't care. We don't do, PCL doesn't do rivalries. We don't do, we're not going to do back and forths or rants or anything like that. The only rivalries that we like here at PCL are the fabricated ones. we like our rivals are DSP and Kenny Caravello Live and Hot Amy and Rappin' Randy. And things like that. We're not getting into real rivalries. Wild Bill with the $19.99 super chat says, Tom, I actually owe you an apology. You do not owe me an apology. I made Perry call you a douchebag 10 times in a row and gave me the double finger. He was a huge baby today. I'll put it off for later this week to make up for it. You don't have to apologize. I thought that was really funny. I don't see DSP stuff posted anymore. Yeah, I don't either. I don't know if DSP has disappeared or just the interest in him has gone away or whatever. You're right. I don't. I don't see too much. I don't see too much DSP stuff these days. Does DSP think Perry is a distractor? No, I think DSP knows what Perry is, but he foolishly could have really leaned into that and played around a little bit and maybe got some respect or maybe, uh, you know, got in our wheelhouse a little bit, and he didn't. He blocked Perry. He blocks anybody that goes into his chat and mentions Perry. And like I said, our guy Scott, who is the godfather of PCL, he made a real offer to DSP for some serious money, flat cash offer if he would go on Perry's stream as a guest, and he ignored it. So he's kind of Perry-esque in that way. He turns down good money for content, which is stupid. So what are you gonna do? Like I never knew about DSP until it became a fake rivalry on here. So I don't know anything about it. I remember sending Perry a DSP cameo during that time, and Perry's chair got stolen, and Perry flipped out really hard. Oh, I don't remember that. Was that actual DSP? Is DSP even on Cameo? Randy says pronouncing Candelabra as Cinderella was classic. Yeah, I like that too. I think he's seen that movie too. The Lip Behind the Candelabra with Michael Douglas playing Liberace. I believe he's seen that. I don't know why it didn't trigger a memory in him. What am I talking about? Perry has no real short-term memory, so he could see a movie like he's every now and again I call him and he's watching that Black Widow movie that came out a couple of years ago, and I'm like, haven't you seen that like 6 times? And he's like, yeah, but I don't remember it so well, so I'm just refreshing my memory. So I'm like, wow, that's got to be fun to like every time you watch a movie that you've seen before, you're watching it for the first time. So that was cool. Did DSP turn down $50K from Keemstar? That I don't know about, but that's insane if he did. That's I would call $50K life-changing money. Yeah, like Memento, the Christopher Nolan movie. Yeah, pretty much. So that's why he's got to write things down on his body and get them tattooed, so he remembers that he's an actor and a skateboarder, and all that stuff. So he turned $50K to keep begging. Well, that's what. So people that know about DSP, and I know a lot of people. That was the kind of thing about, saying fake rivalries, is we got a lot of new fans from people who were DSP detractors or just hate watch DSP. That was a huge benefit. I don't know if it went the other way, but what does he do? Does he just game? Like, is he just a gamer? Like, or does he have some kind of spin on it? Omega says, I'm beyond poor. I do a lot for $50K. Yeah, me too. I would do pretty much anything for $50K. Yeah. I have a lot of house expenses at the moment. $50K would go a long way. Perry got me started keeping napkins on my computer desk. Well, he's really good at that. He's really good at organizing too. Okay, so he games and reflects. Please leave the after show in the version of the upload. I don't like doing that. I don't like leaving, if I come back on after the stream to rant, I don't like leaving that on the official Perry Caravello Live streams, because I don't feel like this is Perry Caravello Live. And I don't know, I feel like the PCL stuff should be self-contained, and once Perry signs off, that's the end. But like I said, I will post it separately on my channel. If not today, I'll do it tomorrow. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but that's just, I just feel like, if I come back and I rant for like 2 hours and extend the stream, I don't feel like that's, because somebody could see that, like, oh look, that's an 8-hour stream, I'm not going to watch that. But it's, mainly it's just like me BSing with you guys for 2.5 hours. So Is Perry going on William Randolph Hearst or Gavin? Gavin. Oh, Gavin can do whatever he wants as far as, his character stuff. But, yeah. My thing with Gavin is I'd want to school him a little bit and update him on modern Perry and obviously make sure there's no politics involved, which I think he's getting away from anyway. Do we allow people that live close to Perry to meet him or invite him to lunch? We would do that every now and again, but not anymore. So no, we don't do that anymore. Once in a while, like somebody who came into town and Perry for lunch. Rare exceptions, but usually that's not the case. And I don't think anybody is going to in Perry's position is going to do that. Yeah, the only exception to that is Steve and Jess, who are the couple from Australia that are coming over, and their biggest thing they want to do is meet Perry. So I said, well, why don't you just come on the stream? And they were like, yeah, that'll be cool. So that'll be on the 19th. That's our season finale. It's the couple from Australia will be there. How did Tom and Perry get connected? Well, that's a long story. I've talked about it before. It's probably on some older After Hours, or I'm sure somebody can fill you in. The very short version of that is it was a case of mistaken identity that brought Perry and I into alignment. Do I think Perry knocked over the table? No, I don't. You can clearly see the movie, and it's very obvious that he doesn't knock over the table. Are the Australians really coming over? Yes, they're really coming over. Garrett will be there too. Oh, Garrett says we should take them out to a traditional Australian dinner at Outback Steakhouse. Yeah, make them feel right at home. Yeah, I think that'll be really fun. They're super excited. Hopefully Perry isn't a raging maniac. I do, anybody that comes into Perry's place, I do say the same things. I said, listen, you're on your own. You guys, they watch every second of every stream. These guys are hardcore. They're Patreons. They don't miss anything. And they're in Australia, obviously. So I don't know if they're watching now. I think now's a bad time for Australia. But they know what they're getting into. So hopefully they can handle it. Yeah, Garrett says it right. Usually when there's a lady present, he cools down for a bit, kind of. Yeah. What does Perry plan to do for a PCL break? Well, according to him, he's going to snowboard. Oh, so he can go in the snow, which is ridiculous, of course. He's got a little medical thing he has to take care of. But anyway, I think it's. I didn't want to turn this into a long thing. I just figured it's a rare chance on a Friday afternoon where I can come back on and talk to you guys. Any more phone calls to be uploaded on Patreon? Yeah, I got a couple from this week. They're not all winners. Like there's one that I called Perry like the day after we got back from the trip, and that's kind of like just a nice conversation between me and Perry. Maybe I'll post that, but it's not like Perry screaming and yelling and hanging up on me. I got a lot of that this week. I got him hanging up on me. It was like not a 30-second call, but it was like a couple of minutes long. Yeah. Gavin isn't trustful to be around Perry. I saw a clip of him talking crap about PCL, and no, he wasn't. Gavin, I'm friends with Gavin. Gavin has not said anything about the PCL crew. Gavin's just outdated when it comes to Perry, and I've talked about that ad nauseum. So, 3 more hours, please. Entertaining you at work. I'm sorry, I can't stay 3 hours. I do have to get on with my day. I got to look into. I'll tell you what. I'll let you in on a little behind the scenes. I got to investigate Pat's towel package because poor Pat, who paid for Perry's insane asylum towel that Perry brought to Pottstown but forgot to bring it to the show and then handed to me. I then gave one of Perry's shirts and sending. Anyway, so the package is now going on this crazy journey that's didn't get to Pat, so I have to now figure out where it is and get that sorted out because I don't like being the perpetrator of a towel scam. So I gotta sort that out. And I was gonna head to the I gotta talk to the postmaster of the post office. Like that's where it's at right now. I believe it will. If it doesn't get to Pat, I think it's going to send back to me, and then I'll just overnight it. But hopefully it gets resolved soon. But man, I don't like having to deal with that. It's taken a long time for him to get it, and I just wanted to make sure he gets it. I have to know, does Perry keep every credit card offer he gets? Perry gets no credit card offers because Perry has no credit. I've talked about this. Perry has no credit to speak of, and that's one of the things I've been trying to build up. Is I actually added him onto one of my cards, and I actually added him onto my dad's card because my dad has this really old card, and I just said, hey, can I just add Perry as an authorized user? Meaning that he'll never actually use the account, but he gains the credit benefits of that account. If you have bad credit or no credit, you can add yourself or ask to be added to somebody who does have good credit and a long-standing credit card as an authorized user. Not if it's Amex, though. Amex doesn't report the full history, but if it's not Amex. So I'm trying to build up Perry's credit because I eventually want him to buy the house and everything like that. Right now, his credit's in the shitter. So, yeah, I'm trying to get Perry like one credit card, like from Chase, like a Chase card, and he has an account with Perry has an account with Chase and a decent bank account, and his credit's so bad he even gets denied for like the basic like Freedom Unlimited card from Chase. So I want to reapply for that card. I want him to reapply for that card, and hopefully he gets it, and then just starts building credit to the point where when we do have to get the mortgage, he has some kind of a credit score that he can get it. Because right now there's just no way. Like if he had to buy that place tomorrow, he couldn't do it. He couldn't even get an auto loan. So I've just been doing these little hacks to get his credit up. And like I said on a previous time, when Perry first lost his disability, he did all these weird things where he had one main credit card that he defaulted on. It wasn't a Chase card. It might have been Bank of America or something like that. I don't remember. But anyway, he'd get all these slimy credit cards, like the kind of credit cards from like banks you never heard of. And he started charging things on that, knowing he'd default on it because he had no money. And he wasn't even telling me about it at the time. And by the time I found out about it, like he had defaulted on one of them, and then he was in collections. So if you guys know about like credit and like if you get into trouble with credit cards and let's say you default on a card or you get sent to a collection agency, whatever, that stuff stays on your credit report for 7 years before it falls off. I'm at the point now where I got in trouble because I was helping him out and I was spending more than I had, and I ended up defaulting on one of my cards, which sucked. So that's going to be falling off my credit maybe about another year, because I think it'll be 6 years. Let me get that right. Yeah, so it was 2017, so it'll be 6 years. So next year that falls off mine, and then my credit should be good. Right now it's okay, but I still have that ding on there from the ding-a-ling. Well, it was my fault. I did it, but that's why. So anyway, slowly but surely, my plan is I've added Perry as an authorized user to a couple of cards that'll work on his credit history, and then maybe in a couple of months get a credit card from Chase, and then maybe in another 6 months get another card, and then build up his credit. Hold on a second, I'm getting a phone call. Hey Perry, I'm still on the air, so don't say any bad words.
All right, well, I'm not going on the air. All I'm going to say is the next stream better have Scarlett or Gina on if you want me to stream again. Otherwise, I'm no longer streaming.
Oh, okay. So that's the caveat.
If you want to use that word for it, yes.
Okay, so you'd rather go homeless or have Scarlet
I'll
or
never go homeless.
yeah, you will, Perry, because you eventually run out of money. But I was just talking about that. I was talking about money, and I was talking about how I'm working to build up your credit for you and all that stuff. But okay, well, I'll get right on Scarlet or Gina for Monday.
Because we've been doing this stream for over 2 years now, going on 3.
I know. Yes.
And Gina, I will say Gina dropped off Jack in the Box, but she left.
Why do you think she left?
Because I was screaming.
Oh.
She didn't want to be part of that.
Oh. Got
She even wrote that to me when I had my Instagram. Because you were yelling so nuts, I didn't want to be a part of you yelling and stuff. So.
Well, you know what you should do? Get on Instagram and tell her to come over for Monday.
You won't let me have Instagram back, so forget about it.
Oh, that's right. You don't have Instagram. Oh.
Oh.
No, it's not that I don't let you have Instagram. I had nothing to do with you losing Instagram, but I can work to get it back. But I don't feel like working to get it back when you do bad things.
What did I do so bad to where I can't have my Instagram back?
Well, you said a bad word today that got us shut down. That I had to shut down, so we didn't get in any more trouble. So you know what you do.
Well,
you know what you do.
Shit, piss, fuck, cunt, motherfucker, cocksucker.
Hey, we don't talk like that on After Hours. I'm gonna hang up on you for that. Goodbye. I don't like that kind of language on After Hours. Yeah, so I think the thing with Perry is, and of course he's being nonsensical, but I think he does think that, let's say he quits the stream, like I'll still take care of him. I'll still pay all his bills. We'll just go back to the way it was, 3 years ago when I was, paying his rent, paying his phone bill, paying his electric, and and then making sure he had money to like survive on. I think he thinks he could just go back to that, which is, and at the end of the day, he's probably right. I probably would do that because I kind of have like a life commitment to him, but I'm certainly not going to tell him that. How did Perry get his credit so bad? Well, I mean, just not knowing what he's doing with credit. I think everybody goes through this when. Look, I've gone through good and bad times with credit. You don't know how to manage it. You get a card and you think it's just like your passport to spend on whatever you want. Perry doesn't know how to handle money, really. So he's gotten every time he's had credit cards, he's gotten into trouble. Like, his credit was always bad. So now, though, he's at a point now where things can reset. And we can try to build it up. I think he just needs the proper guidance with credit, and that's one thing that I've learned too. Is like I've been in debt. I've had like student loans and this and that. I've been in collections. I've been through the whole gamut, and now I'm at a place where I'm never going to let that happen. It's like if I don't have the money, I'm not going to use the credit card. And if I use it, I'm going to pay the full balance at the end of the month because I value my credit. That's something my mom was always really big on, was credit. And she would always like tell us, like, kids and stuff, like how, oh, I got my credit card bill in the mail, Mom. I was 18 and got my first credit. My Amex card, I'm a member since 1988. Like American Express, you're a member since 88, when I was 14 years old, because I had an economics project where they were teaching us about credit, and I went on my mom's American Express card as an authorized user. Never used the card, but that was the starting point of my credit journey. Somebody asked, can I fix your credit? Yeah, I got a couple of slots. If I trust you, I got a couple of slots on some cards that I will add you as an authorized user if you're good. You're never going to get the card. You're never going to be able to use it. But yeah, maybe if you're good, I'll add it to you and you can boost your credit score. But so I had that at 14, and then when I turned 18, I got my first card. Of course, I don't have any of those cards anymore. Foolishly, you should never close your oldest accounts, because that's the thing that helps your credit most of all, is the length of your credit history, and I don't have that, stupidly. So if I could impart any advice to anybody, no matter how bad you're doing, and if you're defaulting on all your cards, at least pick one that's your oldest card and don't default on that. Keep that thing open for as long as you possibly can. And also, when you have kids, put the kids on your as an authorized user when they're kids. Most credit cards don't even require an age. I think Amex you have to be 14. But you can put them on, and then they build a credit history. By the time they're 18, they can then get their own credit card because they have a decent credit history because you've added them as authorized users. And when you add somebody as an authorized user, they don't get the card, you get the card. And then it's up to you if you want to give that person the card. So like I have Perry on my dad's account. By the way, my dad opened this account in 1970. And I noticed when I put myself on his account, my credit score went up tremendously just because of that history. 1970 it was opened, and he's always been in good standing. So Perry's now on that same card. Hopefully it's boosting him and whatever. But yeah, now we're in the credit weeds. But hopefully Perry's credit gets bad because you just want to look. You just want to be able to get a mortgage. You want to be able to get an auto loan or whatever, all those kind of things. So that's the dream. Dreams are never easy, my friends. Let me tell you, dreams are never easy. So my dream, the ultimate goal of Perry Caravello Live, as I've said many times, is I just want to hand Perry keys to a house that he owns. Hey, this is your house. You can leave it to your daughter. You can do whatever you want with. This is where we live. Now, where he lives is a whole other ball of wax. We won't even talk about that. But just, getting him into a house. And he's going to fight it. I don't need a house. I don't want a house, you son of a bitch. But it's going to be one of those things. Then once he gets it, he's going to love it. And have his own space. And, be out of that stupid apartment where, as much as we love it aesthetically, it's not a good living space. In that area, and I'll tell you what really motivated me more than anything to really get the ball moving was that attack that happened. The area is not getting better; it's getting worse. The apartment complex itself is not getting better; it's just getting worse. So that's what I want to do. So, in order to do that, sure, I could co-sign whatever, but you can't do that with no credit. I know that for a fact because when I tried to get a mortgage, I couldn't get one because my credit was in the shitter. So, because of Perry. I'll take responsibility. It was because of me, but the situation was because of Perry. So. Anyway, that's it. Imagine him doing a stream in a bigger house. He would disappear in an hour. Well, you figure you get a room where he can do the stream, and I would like to at least make a makeshift recreation, even if it's just like cardboard cutouts, a recreation of his current setup. PCL Loon God says, "You're so good to him. He is a very, very lucky and blessed. Thanks to you, Tom." Well, that's nice of you to say. I think Perry deep down knows that. Would it be easier on my finances if Perry moved in with me? Yeah. At the time, pre-PCL, yes. And it came really close to that came... You guys have no idea how close it came to moving Perry in with me into my apartment at the time. When Perry was really down on his luck and was... had no... And the debt was piling up and it was like pandemic time. We were really close to having that happen. Hold on, Perry's calling again. Hey Perry, I'm still on the air, and if you're going to use that kind of language on After Hours, you're going to be banned for life.
I'm off to Huntington Beach. I'm going skateboarding. Bye.
Why are you calling me with this?
No, I'm just letting you know where I'm going. Bye.
How far is Huntington Beach?
Hour and a half.
Why would you drive an hour and a half to do that? That's so stupid.
Because I'm going to Van Skate Park.
Why would you go there? You have skate parks closer to you.
That's where all my friends go.
You don't have any friends that go there.
Bye.
Who are you? Oh, he hung up. Well, that's a child. Yeah, that lunatic wants to drive 90 minutes. He could drive 90 minutes to go to some stupid skate park. Somebody says, hope Perry finds a decent place to live. F that apartment. I agree. F that apartment. It's not so much his apartment. It's just that complex. I just want him to get the hell out of there. Notice he couldn't name one friend at that park. Will we ever be able to talk about the aftermath of Perry being assaulted? Yeah, eventually. There's not a lot to talk about right now. Don't worry. You're not missing anything. So, somebody says, I live in Southern California and it's crazy. Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah, guys, he's crazy. I don't know if you've noticed this. Like, there's people that tune in to Perry for the first time, like, oh, this guy's full of it. He's playing a part. No, he's who he is. That's who he is. He's not playing into anything. That's who he is. He's a lunatic. So he wants to drive 90 minutes and waste all that gas. What are we gonna do? That's just the way it's gonna be. Did we enjoy Pottstown? Yeah, we did. We had a great time, especially in the house. And meeting the fans and everything like that. It was great. There were logistical issues, business issues of how the show was handled and how it was run that we had, but that's a minor aspect. The majority of the experience was all positive. It was really great. So, yeah, and by the way, the fact that I can't even battle that. The fact that he still goes skateboarding with his balance and his lack of any kind of athleticism is just is moronic. But whatever. If that's what he wants to do, that's what he's going to do. Am I worried for Tony Hawk when he's over there sometimes? Yeah, all the time. But as you heard Tony say earlier, I give him all the warnings in the world. And Tony's a professional at this point. He could take those bumps like nobody's business, more than I could. My wife still thinks it's a gag, but I'm like, nobody can keep this up for 15 plus years. I mean, look, anybody that thinks it's a gag, live my life for a day. See how much of a gag it is. But that's great that's great that you think that, or that your wife thinks that. So that's what Perry's gonna do. That's how he's gonna spend his weekend. How are you guys spending your weekend? The first weekend of June. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I don't know if anybody's got any special plans, but I hope you have a nice, relaxing weekend. I got a t-ball game tomorrow, and then we do a parade after the game. That's going to be kind of nice. So the whole league, they do this parade. It was supposed to happen in April, and it got rained out. So we got to. Actually, I think it's before the game. We do this parade where you march through the town. And all of the little leaguers, whatever league you're in, age group wise, you all carry a banner for your team. And, me and the coaches march, with the kids. And they make a big deal out of the T-ballers because they're the youngest and it's their first time. So that should be kind of fun. And then we'll do our game. And I think that's it. I don't think I have any real plans. Oh, I'm seeing Raiders of the Lost Ark in theaters. I think on Sunday. It's playing Sunday and Wednesday nationwide. You guys should go see that. Oh, the Nose says, I just started T-ball coaching too. Herding cats, chaos, but fun. Yeah, that's a good way to say it. Herding cats. It's just, all you're doing is teaching these kids how to play the game and have fun. I'm at the point now, we're deep enough into the season where a lot of kids know how to do it, but I still catch Teddy in the outfield, like playing with dirt. He's like, he'll find a rock and he'll throw it up in the air, and I'll have to, say, hey Teddy, baseball ready. Baseball ready is the code for pay attention to what's going on. Pay attention to what's going on in the field. If there's a hit, if there's a ball that gets by you, whatever. They're all getting a lot better with it though. And I think Teddy will do T-ball again next year because it's for ages 5 and 6. I don't know if I'll be coaching again next year. This took a lot on me, took a lot out of me, but it's very rewarding, very rewarding. Yeah, Indiana Jones. So the new Indiana Jones movie comes out at the end of the month. That's going to be whatever it is. I'll see that eventually. But Raiders of the Lost Ark, if you've never seen it in the theater, it's playing nationwide on Sunday and Wednesday, part of Fathom events. So I guess check your local listing. But it's one of those movies where if you haven't seen Raiders of the Lost Ark in a theater, you've just never seen it, and it's worth going out of your way to see it. So it's really it's good. How am I coming along after my mom? Magoots. I lost my mom in February, so I know how hard it is. Yeah, it's it's hard to say. Some days are better than others. The day doesn't go by where you don't think about it, but the mourning process is different for everybody. So I've also not really had much of a break since she passed, with just like family stuff, work stuff, PCL stuff. So, there's things. I found this thing, speaking of my mom, this is interesting. So my dad and I were looking for some stuff, like old cards of hers. I wanted to make sure speaking of credit cards, like certain accounts of hers were kept, were closed out or whatever like that. And we found this box of stuff that my mom kept, and I don't think it's been opened since the 80s. And it was really sweet. Like, it was cards that she got from like her parents for like birthdays, or like Valentine's cards for other guys, before she met my dad. Every letter my dad ever sent her, and then like kids cards, like stuff that we made when we were in school when we were kids. So that was kind of fun to go through. But I found this letter that I wrote to Santa Claus, like had to be like early 80s. I don't know if I had to put a year on it, maybe like 83, 84 or something like that, maybe 85. And it's a sealed letter in my handwriting. It's a Santa Claus, North Pole. And at the time when you're a kid, your parents tell you can mail a letter to Santa Claus. They don't charge you any postage. So you just write Santa Claus, North Pole. I think that's all you write on the envelope, and then you mail it off. And so I guess she took this letter and said she was going to mail it for me, but it's still sealed. Like, I have the letter, so it's still sealed. It's like hermetically sealed from the moment I sealed it as a kid. And I've been tempted to open it up to see what the letter is, because I could see through it. I know it's a letter, and I vaguely remember writing those letters. So one of these, maybe sometime, maybe at Christmas time or whatever, maybe I'll open it and read it and see what was inside. But I found that. I found a lot of different things too. So there's things that come up all the time, where I think about my mom. I was going through some phone call stuff because I was looking for an old thing of Perry. There was a period of time, really before PCL, where I'd have this other phone that I had it set. It basically recorded every phone call that I made. So I called my mom, if I called my friend, whatever. Every phone call got recorded because I was recording calls for Perry to like either put up on the podcast or whatever. So I have a ton of them from my mom, and I played one just briefly, and it was about, she was asking if I wanted to come over for dinner, and it was the first time I've heard her voice in a long time, where her voice was like her voice before she, went into dementia or any of that. So that was kind of. It was kind of sombering, but also made me happy to hear her voice. So anyway, the long answer is there's no recipe for it. It's a long process, but I've been doing, I guess, pretty good with it. I hope you're doing well with it too. Somebody says, "Don't lie, you were 24 when I wrote to Sandy." Maybe I would like to see the kind of stuff I was asking for. Jim says, I saw all 3 indie movies. Last Crusade I saw in theaters with my dad. Raiders and Temple of Doom were caught at Anniversary. Like, yeah. They're all good. I don't mind Temple of Doom and Last Crusade, but they're not in the same category with Raiders. Raiders is in its own league. So if you have the ability to go see it, I would recommend go seeing it. Not too many things get me to the movies these days, but that will. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off here and say, everybody, enjoy the rest of your Friday, enjoy your weekend. Even if you're a lunatic who's driving 90 minutes away to go skateboard for 10 minutes, because that's where your friends go, in quote, do that, and we'll reconvene on Monday for me to share Miniature Monday. So anyway, thanks for putting up with Perry's BS. In a weird way, I'm kind of glad we had to split the stream because, you know, we got to hang out a little bit and get to hear from Tony and have these little wrap-ups. We don't normally get to do that on the Friday stream. So I'm going to take these down and I'll put them back up. They'll be on YouTube at some point today. Don't set your watch to it, but it'll be up at some point. With After Hours included. I think this was a 5-hour stream. So, yeah, creepy old man and kids skateboarding. I always think of that. I always think about the kids factor with the skateboarding. It's, you know, skateboarding is for kids, and I always think of like the kids there having to deal with this like weird old guy strapping up in skateboarding in there. So anyway, have a great weekend, guys, and I don't know the next time I'll do an After Hours. I'll seize the opportunities where I see them, but I won't be doing them on Monday just because of my schedule. But we'll figure things out, and eventually I want to get that PCL podcast started. But one thing at a time, guys. Have a great weekend. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks everybody for everything. Thanks for all the great mail. Thanks for all the great contributions. And as always, thanks for the support. And thanks for seeing through Perry's BS. He's not always that miserable. He just looks that way sometimes on the stream. So, all right. Love you guys. PCL for life. Have a great weekend.